Clip from our big NHL opening night show, baby. We're back. Check out the entire show. Hit the link at the bottom of the screen. It's available exclusively on odds.com. Move on to Sunday, January 17th, 3:05 p.m. We start with the AFC Divisional Playoffs, Browns versus Chiefs. And I was wrong about the market moves that I had expected to see. I expected that after the public watched Cleveland without their head coach, without Bitonio, without Denzel Ward, smash the Steelers, that 10 might not last. I really did. When I left on Monday morning, so I did the radio show on Monday morning, and I went out with Ella, and I was like, I wonder, and I was thinking just about these two spots, and I thought, man, I think I should go home and bet that Ravens +3, attack it for much more than one unit. And I don't expect that double-digit spot for the Browns to last. And I was very wrong. The leading indicator books tell us that 10.5s are on the horizon. Browns 11-5, 5-3 on the road during the regular season against Chiefs, 14-2, 6-2 at home. Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri, and warmer weather than usual expected for Kansas City. 42 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 10 miles per hour at this point. Playing with Stefanski, Bitonio, Ward out. Cleveland raced out to the biggest first half lead by a road team in NFL playoff history. It was the first postseason win since they beat New England in 1995, 3 months before Mayfield was born. It was their first win on the road since 1969. They picked off Ben 4 times. Baker Mayfield, 21-34, 263 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jarvis Landry, 92 yards. I believe it was 7 receptions. I don't have it in front of me. Nick Chubb, 18 carries for 76 yards. Kareem Hunt, 8 carries for 48 yards. Again, Bebsy, you cashed the double because you had both of those guys running props over. We saw what happened. Marquise Pouncey's first snap of the game, and just like that Broncos-Seahawks Super Bowl, you knew that there was trouble ahead. Jack Conklin was cleared to play after being listed as questionable with an illness. He's all-pro, and he has a hamstring injury. Michael Dunn stepped in for Bitonio, and he left with a calf issue. If you look at the latest, Michael Dunn, injured reserve, done. Robert Jackson, cornerback, hamstring issue, done. Jake Conklin is day-to-day, says Stefanski. B.J. Goodson, linebacker, questionable with a shoulder injury. He left that game with that injury. Kevin Johnson, cornerback, reserve COVID list. Denzel Ward, still reserve COVID list. And as you know, Nick Harris, Olivia Vernon on injured reserve. Bebsy, what did you think about these Cleveland Browns, and do they have a chance to cover as a double-digit dog?
Well, look, I just want to reference the game on the weekend. This has happened so many times all year where I feel like a team is an obvious win, and then the line doesn't move all week despite what happened. Like, they lost their coach. They couldn't practice. They had players out with COVID, stars out, and every logical thing pointed to them winning, and that line didn't move, which is terrifying. I should have bet off it. I should have learned my lesson. I still haven't. I'm clearly a moron. But yeah, I like Cleveland in this spot for a couple of reasons. Somebody mentioned in the chat their power run game can control clock. Of course it can. And Chubb and Hunt, 1-2 punch has been great. And part of the reason I took that double up in that was to cover my ass on betting on the Steelers. And it sort of worked out for me. But I just think the way that the Chiefs have played all year, which is conservative, we'll say, versus this Browns team that has got nothing to lose. They've overachieved. They barely made it to the playoffs. They were dogs in week 1. They dominated a team that's bullied them for as long as since they've come back into the league. So I think they're playing loose right now, whereas I think KC on the other side of the ball has yet to have to wake up and play this kind of football. So I might double up on this, but first half, I really like Cleveland in this. I like Cleveland to be able to jump out to a lead, to be able to control the clock a bit. It's hard to bet Cleveland full game, but again, the Chiefs have not covered the spread much. They're heavily favored because they are such a great team, but we haven't seen them show it. We have not seen the Chiefs play to full capacity, and I tend to wonder if they're going to do it here. They're going to look at Cleveland as a team that they should beat, and they can play relatively conservative and still win this game and not show too much of their hand going into the final 2 games of the year. So I'm thinking first half I'm going to take right now, and I might double up here.
Interesting. Terrence Garcia with a couple of great points. The first one to do with the total. And okay, sorry, I froze there for a second. First one was dealing with the total. He says Kansas City has a big lead. They run the clock. That's always been Andy Reid's style. Cleveland game plan will be to use their backs under 56. Let's talk about the Chiefs and then decide if you are going to move on this as a double up. Chiefs clinched the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they're in the lone first round bye. And Andy Reid said every important player in the regular season finale. So that means their best players will have had 21 days off. It's a long time. We've seen it blow up in teams' faces before. Mahomes completed 66.3% of his passes this year, 4,740 yards, 38 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Great numbers, unless you're reading out Rodgers' numbers. Travis Kelce, 105 catches for 1,416 yards, 11 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill caught 87 passes for 1,276 yards, 15 touchdowns. Clyde Edwards-Helaire ran 181 times for 803 yards, 4 touchdowns. Chris Jones led the pass rush, a mediocre pass rush. It's quiet at times, 7.5 sacks. The Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, 6 interceptions this year. And when you wonder why they sat everybody, they were banged up. So Tyreek Hill was dealing with a hamstring injury. Sammy Watkins had a calf injury. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had the high ankle sprain. Le'Veon Bell was sidelined with a knee injury. Offensive lineman Mike Remmers had a back injury. Middle linebacker Anthony Hitchens, who calls the plays, spent 2 weeks on the COVID-19 list. Ben Neiman, has been dealing with a hamstring strain, and backup Damian Wilson being limited with a lingering knee injury. Mike Pennell and Derek Nottie, knee injury, and cornerback Charvarius Ward, hamstring injury. So they were a banged-up squad, so they maybe really needed that time off. So do you think that time off will hurt them? They claim that they are a healthy group moving into this game, and what do you think of this total of 56.5, Bebsy?
I think no, I don't think the time off hurt them. I think it helped them. I think it, like you said, it helped them get healthy. Just to address, a lot of people in the chat are saying the Chiefs and the Steelers aren't the same team. I realize that. I'm not backing the Browns because of what they did to the Steelers. I actually put very little stock into that, especially when you consider the Steelers' absolute nosedive for the last. They won one of their last 6 games. A terrible end of the season. I'm not betting. I don't like the Browns in this spot because of the Steelers. I like the Browns in this spot because of the Chiefs. They've barely covered spreads all year. And like I said, they're a team that plays as good as they have to do to win. And look, I said I'm weary about jumping on the full game cover. You guys are talking like I'm talking money line. I don't think the Browns are going to win. I just think this Browns team is good enough to hang with a team that doesn't put the pedal down as much as they should. They look, Cleveland, we know they've been very capable of putting up points. They've been a much different and better offense since OBJ went down. So, look, this Chiefs team is obviously still the favorite, and they're obviously better off because they're healthy and getting Tyreek healthy. Getting some rest for Kelsey, who got a lot of mileage this year. It's huge for them, but I don't see them roaring out the gates. That's why I like this first half and leaning towards first full game as well. But first half cover for the Browns, I think, is a nice little look here.
Plus 6.5 of minus 105 at FanDuel.
Yeah, lock it in, baby.
Plus 6.5 of minus 105 at FanDuel for Bebsy. And any insight on whom you plan to attack with in the player prop market?
It's going to be hard not to look at the Chubb Hunt double up again. It's hit for me a number of times this year. And I think, again, your approach facing this KC team has to be run the ball because they're going to want to keep Mahomes off the field. So I don't know. I might look at some second half stuff for the Chiefs. I think that would be a sharp way to approach this is look at Mahomes' numbers, passing yards in the second half, because I don't think they're going to come out and stomp. So yeah, obviously the Chubb Hunt props, and I don't know. I might get a sneaky little look at Jarvis Landry because it feels like he's sort of ramping up for another big game.
Exciting breakdown. I need more time with this spot.
Agree with David Sharp too. Kelsey props is going to be a good look because I really think, especially if Tyreek isn't 100% yet, the Kelsey's just going to be the go-to guy for the rest of the year. He's been all year.
I feel you. I'm just going to need more time. I'm going to need more time on this Browns-Chiefs spot, and clearly the market's not moving in any direction. If I gave you a free $500 bet to make on the total at 56.5 right now, would you go over or under?
That's high, but look, both of these teams, matchup-wise, should put up a lot of points.
Ron Burgundy, we don't know at this point if Denzel Ward is out. We don't know.
As always, I appreciate your support, Birdie.
Okay.